Hey everybody, Josh Hofstra and Dominic Carosa here, and we're super excited to talk to you today about Dropship Disc Golf.
So first off, I just wanted to, I guess we would just both introduce ourselves, talk about how we got into disc golf, how long we've been playing disc golf, just kind of a get to know us, quick get to know us for people who don't know who we are, haven't seen the stuff we've done in the past. So I guess you can go first.
Yeah, so I'm Josh Hofstra. I have been playing disc golf for about three and a half years. I spent most of my time working at Lone Star Disc as the Director of Marketing and Business Development. You may have seen me, Howdy Hofstra, my cowboy hat, out there shooting promos. I've managed our pro team over at Lone Star, and then recently decided to make my departure to work on something bigger and better that I believe in and think that can be a great thing moving forward for not only the sport of disc golf, but everybody who wants to be involved.
Yeah, and my name's Dominic, as we talked about. I've been playing disc golf a little longer than that. I've been playing since 2014. I got into it in 8th grade, right when I was finishing middle school, and then played through all of high school, college, and now after college. So I've been playing a little longer. I pretty much just played casually on and off for a while, and then I also worked at Lone Stars for a little while as the digital media specialist. Me and Josh kind of left Lone Star right about the same time, and now we're kind of finding what our next path is within disc golf as our own selves. So, and that's kind of what led us here. Is we made a lot of content for Lone Star. Josh for about 2 years, me for a little less than that, but we really enjoyed being able to make disc golf content, and even without Lone Star, we wanted to be able to continue doing that. So that's what kind of led you to this idea of Dropship. So do you want to talk at all about what led you to wanting to create this, where Dropship started, what it's become now, and what you hope for it to be in the future?
Yeah, so it was funny because it actually started about 4 months ago, 3-4 months ago. I was sitting there at my desk at work, and I was like, man, like I just want something more for myself, right? I've already created this awesome team. I'm already working with an awesome team on the media side. Is there something more that I can do to either give back or, keep growing my own passions, right? And so I actually came up with my eBay store, which is Dropship Deals, under the moniker Dropship Disc Golf. And the idea behind it was, we're both big video game guys. If we're not out on the course, we're playing battle royales or hopping on any sort of game that we can kind of play together and have a sense of community. And typically what you end up in is a drop ship to land in the zone or land wherever you're going to land. And so is the name for drop shipping packages, drop shipping items. So it worked out really well. It kind of came from an idea of, how can I help give back, and how can I help, promote something that I feel is truly my own. And towards the end of our tenure at Lone Star, I'm known to cook a little bit. I'm known to kind of come up with some ideas on the fly. And I really wanted to turn Dropship into this media company that not only is promoting the sport of disc golf by filming videos, filming streams on popular battle royales like Fortnite, but also finding a way to give back to the community and work with different foundations, 501c3s, within the community. So we've got a lot of really cool stuff coming up, and I think Dom is going to touch a little bit more on.
Yeah, so for me, Josh kind of looped me in after we both kind of figured out that we were going to be stepping away from Lone Star. My number one two passions that I've had for the longest time are both creating content, predominantly kind of video content. I went to school at Sam Houston for film and television production, so that's a lot of what I enjoy doing. And then disc golf, it's the sport I've been playing the longest. I played soccer a lot through like middle school and high school, but then I was playing disc golf throughout that whole time, and then post high school, that's kind of what I decided I cared more about. So that's why I'm still, I still play disc golf all the time. So those are kind of my number two passions, number one, number two. And now I kind of get to mix them together in one fun thing, which is what made Lone Star great. But now kind of post that, we have more freedom to kind of create what we want, try out new things. And I think there's a lot of potential for types of videos we can create that we might have been limited in the past.
100% agree.
So, like you said, you've only been playing disc golf for about 3 years, and you've been with Lone Star for more than 2 of them.
2.5.
So this is kind of your first time really being able to branch out, try new discs. There's a lot of releases that have come out in the last 2 years that I might have gotten to try, but you've never even seen. This is kind of the first time you're really going to be really changing over your bag aside from starting with Lone Star. But when you started with Lone Star, you only had X amount of choices. You kind of were building as things were created.
Of course.
Now you have this just wide open world of plastic. What's kind of your thought process? Do you have brands that you like already, discs you want to try, or are you just kind of trying everything you can and seeing what goes?
Well, so being on the marketing side of things, shout out to all of the great disc golf marketers out there. We're really good at marketing children's toys to adults, right? And so there's a lot of discs out there that I have a childlike wonder for, that I'm very anxious to try. Stuff that I've seen other people really enjoying and having a lot of fun with. That I myself want to try. I've already swapped out a couple different molds out of my bag. Do you want me to touch on those discs first, or talk about discs that I'm more interested in trying that aren't those?
Yeah, we can go straight into the discs we're trying out. So now, for me, I bagged non-Lone Star for the first 6 years of me playing. So it was switching to Lone Star, that was a new experience. Me switching back is kind of me just returning to old favorites.
True.
But for you only had a couple of those. So yeah, what are the ones that you did use from before that you really are excited to go back to versus ones you're kind of looking forward to start using maybe?
Yeah, so everybody who knew me when I first started playing disc golf knew that I was a Caltrop guy. So Latitude 64 makes this brick, and it's called the Caltrop. It's basically their version of a Berg. Yeah. You can throw it on whatever angle you want, and it's not going past 330 feet. No matter how hard you throw it, what angle, it's just going to go straight. That was an instant in the bagger. As soon as I was able to kind of swap stuff out and find it, and I had a bunch of totes up there. Threw my totes, threw a Caltrop in the bag. I'm a huge fan of EMAC. EMAC is my disc golf idol. He's done so much for the sport, continues to grow the sport on a daily basis. And so I had to throw an EMAC Truth in the bag. I have a really cool one that is blue and gold that has my last name on it. It says Hofstra. I love throwing that one. Super straight to stable. And then the final disc that I'm going to be adding to my bag is actually a Justice that Dom brought for me all the way from Michigan. It's an American flag die, one of the, whatever they call them.
Yeah, fly die style.
Fly die,
I don't know if that's a brand specific term.
Oh, true.
Or not.
But yeah, so and it's got a blue foil on it, so I bag mostly red, white, and blue discs. So having a red, white, and blue foil dyed disc in my red, white, and blue bag is going to be very cool. And I'm stoked about meme discs.
Yeah.
The glitch. Like, I finally get to throw a glitch, and we had a lot of fun throwing it yesterday, and it's just one of those discs that you throw it in the disc golf course, you can throw it in a park, like, it does everything.
Yeah, the glitch is one I had a very limited experience with because it came out right before I started with Lone Star.
Right.
So I had one in the bag for maybe 2 months, and it's something I bought purely. I'm a big Simon Lizotte YouTube enjoyer, so that's what pushed me to buy it. But I also played College Ultimate for 4 years.
That's true. So
that kind of style of disc is a lot of fun for me, and I didn't really use it on the course that much because usually when you're using like a 1-speed disc, it's because you want something to fall out of the sky, right. And the glitch does everything but fall out of the sky.
Going. Yes.
So I didn't use it much on a course because you can push it pretty far, but it just doesn't have that kind of stability of a driving putter, and they're pretty much all 140 grams, so they're getting beat around by the wind. It's kind of just a for fun thing. You can use it in the woods sometimes if you're trying to air bounce.
Yeah.
There's what tournament is it? It was just recently reposted, I think by Jomez or something, but it was Simon like buried in the woods. I can probably throw the clip on here, but I was like, is Simon buried in the woods, and he has his Wreck-It Ralph dyed glitch, and he like hits this nasty air bounce putt like 100 feet into an elevated basket from like a low, like it was.
That's so
and
sick.
That's really the only use you're gonna have for it in disc golf. So
right.
But it's super cool, super fun to use. I'm glad you now get to use it.
I know.
There's a couple other, not touching on the discs I'd thrown before quite yet, but we were at Spring Valley yesterday. Because you wanted to try out some new things. I had some money from Par 2 that I was picking up, and it was just feeling a bunch of discs we'd never thrown before. Like the It is the one that sticks out to me, and I still I need to go back and buy one because the way it's
so
usually you have the top of the disc that's rounded, and then the bottom part is either a sharp end or it has a little divot. It's rounded outward.
It's like a Roadrunner bottom on steroids. It's like it's extra bulbous.
It's the weirdest feeling disc, but not in like a bad way. Like there's weird discs that feel bad.
Right.
But that was just like a disc I'd never felt before, and I was like, I can't even comprehend how I think this would fly.
Right.
But I know there's people that like it. Like I think Cat Merch throws it a good bit.
Well, and speaking of discs that I would have never even thought to use, so I was a big Trilogy guy before I got on Lone Star, and it's funny because my little brother, shout out Peter, I had always bought him Christmas presents or his birthday or gone out of my way because I really, again, I love cultivating the sport of disc golf. Now everyone in my family plays because I started playing.
Yeah.
He loved the Keystone, and I was like, whatever, man, you don't know, it's all about judges or whatever. And then I've been putting with Dom. We've both been putting Bennies. He converted me over to Bennies.
Yeah.
And then he switched to Keystones, and this guy
switched back to Keystones.
Might be the nastiest putter I've ever seen, and so I instantly was like, I have to try these. The Keystone might make my putter like that might be the putter that I go with. It's such a straight shooting putter. I would have never even thought to go out and buy one. And that's actually the main reason why we showed up at Spring Valley yesterday was they had a ton in stock. So,
so switching back, I guess, into the discs I had thrown before and the ones that were automatically like, I'm going back to this.
Yeah.
The first one that comes to mind was the Keystone. And I mean, if you watched our videos in the past and you thought I was a good putter with the Bennies, you don't even understand me with the Keystone in my hands. Like, if you thought that was the best I could putt, you will be astounded.
It just goes so straight, so far.
And that's what I love the Benny for. The Benny was very point and shoot. The Penny is very, very close. I don't have a logical reason for why I didn't click with the Penny.
The Penny was more apparent to hold the turn. So like with a Keystone, if you putt really fast on a hyzer spin putt, you can almost make a Penny you can make a Penny hyzer flip to flat. Like that's what a lot of people were doing to start. Whereas a Keystone, if you put it on hyzer flat, it holds the hyzer and just literally holds the angle forever. It's the craziest thing.
Yeah. So the Keystone's a latitude putter. It's -1-1, and it's just a putter that not a lot of people have tried. And it's a putter that I never would have tried if it wasn't for a Trilogy challenge. And that's what got me into playing disc golf. I didn't play a lot of rated tournaments at first when I was kind of getting in high school, but I played every time there was an ace race or a Trilogy challenge or the MVP circuit equivalent, whatever it's called. Anytime one of those were in town, I would hit those always. Like those were my favorite ones to play because I got new discs.
That's super fun.
Like, players packs are all right, but you kind of never know what you're getting. Like this is my opportunity to try 3 new discs
for like $45.
Yeah, and it's super cool. And where I was living at the time, at one point in Pennsylvania, and then at a smaller town in Texas, I was winning a lot of those. So I was also getting like, and if you haven't played like a Trilogy challenge or an ace race, they hook up the winners.
Yes.
Like, I won an ace race one year and I got like 10 Discraft discs, a bag, and a trophy. And I paid like $30 to play.
Yeah.
And all I did was throw in like an 120 footer at one point.
That's so crazy.
They hook people up. So that's literally how I was growing my bag, was by winning these kind of tournaments.
Were there any other discs that you were like, I'm instantly going to these?
Yeah, so the other 2 that I'm going to highlight that I knew right away were Wraiths. Wraiths have been my furthest flying disc. They're the perfect balance for me of control and distance. Like I can get them like literally anywhere from 320 up to like 400, and I feel just as confident with where I'm going to place that disc. And then the other one was the Meteor. So it's just very different from any mid we ever had with Lone Star. And I like some of the Lone Star mids, but we do a lot of that beveled and then beaded style of mid-ranges, which just isn't my personal preference. I'm not a bead guy. And I like kind of smooth, more rounded mid, like a Mako or that kind of
stuff
style.
like Hooligan Discs has.
Yeah. So like the rope was close. That dropped, right as we were leaving. So never really didn't get much time with it.
No.
But yeah, the Meteor was one that I used a bunch. Very touchy, and I like Discraft's ability to have a range of different flights in one mold. So like if I get a stock Z Meteor, I know it's just dead straight, maybe a little stable. The ESP one that you've seen me throw now.
That thing's stable.
It's very nice, but like if I hit it flat, it's still gonna just drift. And now they have like Jawbreaker ones available that I want to try out. Versus like Lone Star, our whole thing was the consistent plastic. Every disc is the same. So I just like every Ranger I ever threw flew exactly the same. I couldn't really have a range of different Rangers.
Yeah.
Which for some people they love that. I like the beating in a range of mid-ranges a little more. And
I think that was the one hard part that I told Dom was going back to trying other brands and different stuff is with Lone Star, you could take, their Texas Ranger, which is still personally one of my favorite mids. And yeah, you could beat it against the concrete wall 20, 30 times and it's still gonna fly the same way. Other manufacturers don't have that. So I'll probably still keep a couple of Lone Star molds in my bag. I don't see myself shying away from, discs like the Spur that people haven't gotten a chance to throw yet. But I also haven't thrown comparable discs like a Captain's Raptor that I hear you talk about constantly, where it's like, maybe that's a disc that I need to try out. And I think that's one of the things that we're going to end up doing on this channel is people's personal favorites. His was a Keystone with the putter, right? Yeah. We have another person that we used to work with that his go-to disc was a Captain's Raptor. The guy was literally known for Captain's Raptor aces and doing all this stuff. And so it's like, we would love to work with y'all, not only the audience, but the community that we're building here, to kind of point some discs our way. We can do a couple disc reviews, and we're actually going to be working with some manufacturers on getting some content for y'all. I know I just talked with Emac himself. Shout out Emac. I love you, Emac.
Shout out Emac.
Emac's going to be sending me some Emac judges because he said, well, if you like the Keystone and you like me, you're going to love the Emac judge. And I go, you know what? You might be onto something. So
you might be onto something.
I'm a big fan of the Judge. The Judge is what I putted with before I went to Lone Star. And the Emac Judge, I had gotten a couple because they released right around the time where I started with Lone Star. And I knew it was a disc that I liked. It's got a micro bead instead of the larger bead on the Judge. And it has the, I believe, -1.1 rating of a Keystone. But again, we'll see. I know that's going to be one of the first discs that we do a review on the channel. So I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, so kind of just wrapping up and teasing what we have to come. To start off, we're coming up on the holidays, so it's going to be a very busy time over the next couple weeks. So at least for the next month, it's probably just going to be weekly releases. We'll probably have about one video a week. We actually have some super special videos coming out that we've already filmed, kind of prepped out to release during these holiday weeks. We have some that we filmed a little while ago. With some pros that you might know. We've got one with Carter Aarons, one with Connor O'Reilly. Those are going to be super fun for people to finally be able to watch those, because I know a lot of people who saw us at the courses filming that, and they're like, where are those videos? We'll finally be able to drop those. And then our first kind of series that we're starting called Hot Drop, where we try out new courses that are either new to us or just new courses. The first one's dropping at Northside Gold. So if you played Northside Christian Church in spring, one that we had played a lot, they put in a gold layout. Sheldon built it for his Northside Open tournament. So we got to film one of the first, probably the first filmed round at Northside Gold. So we'll have that video coming out.
It'll be the first released filmed round.
That is probably that's for sure.
There were some other people filming, so I'm sure we'll beat them to the punch on that one. But.
So. Just a couple little teasers. Again, if you have discs that you think we should try, we should review, feel free to leave those in the comments or shoot us a message on Facebook or something, letting us know what your favorites are that you want to see us try. Maybe new courses.
Yes.
Probably somewhat in the Conroe-ish area.
Let's start in the Houston area. I'm okay with driving an hour or two, but eventually, once this takes off, because anything that we do, anything that you put your passion into will succeed. And we know that you guys are going to be following us along in this journey, just as you have in the past, and of course we appreciate that. I would love to start being able to use Dropship as a tool for not only giving back to the community with fundraisers for these 501c3s, or creating these awesome watch parties with DGN happening. Shout out Flying Armadillo. I would love to set up maybe a Flying Armadillo challenge where we go out there and we have a ton of fun. Like, there's so many things that are a possibility with this channel.
Glitch only at Flying Armadillo has to happen one day.
It would be so much fun.
It has to happen eventually.
I want to say that they have done it.
They have to have.
But either way, if you haven't played Flying Armadillo, shout out them real fast. They're pitch and putt course, their ace race course is a lot of fun, but I love the big course. The big course from the blue tees, if you go out with your friends, is a ton of fun. So we'll probably be looking to set up an event with them here in the very near future, depending on where the channel goes. Obviously, we're going to be super busy with the holidays and filming, but I do think that in 2024, we have a huge opportunity to not only create something great, but also give back to the community.
So wrapping up this first kind of little state of what we're doing episode, if you want to see more podcast style episodes like this, it's definitely something we could keep doing in the future if there's stuff you want to hear us talk about, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, leave your disc recommendations, course recommendations, video ideas. We're open to everything, so feel free to leave them in the comments. And closing out kind of the first episode. There's a lot of things coming though. So
a lot of stuff coming. We appreciate you guys following along. Again, Josh and Dom, we're here at the Dropship Command Center, and we'll see you guys back in the lobby.